all new supplement company. The company is called Virtus. The pre-workout is called Full Mag. Yeah, it's going to boost mood.
Yeah,
Make you feel real nice while you're moving that lightweight like bags of feathers, baby.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? It's Massive Joe's Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome Raw Review for the viewers at home today on an all-new pre-workout from an all-new Australian supplement company. The company is called Virtus Nutrition. The pre-workout is called Full Mag in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. It's a relatively small tub with a relatively small nutritional information panel that ain't going to get it done. We're about to go deep in this here Virtus Nutrition Full Mag pre-workout. Luckily, we've got a big-ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen so you guys can play along at home. Let's start from the top. Servings 20. Serving size 16 grams spread across 2 scoops. So we're dealing with a 40 scoop, 22 scoop serve pre-workout. I said that the right way around. 22 scoop serve pre-workout here in the Virtus Full Mag, which is generally where we're seeing a lot of pre-workouts go now. 40 scoops, 20 serves. 16 grams in the 2 scoops, so 8 grams per scoop. And if we just jump down the nutritional information panel, because it's a pre-workout, who really cares about the macros? Let's just call it how it is. And get into these active ingredients and add those active ingredients up. We can quickly see that we're dealing with 11.20502 or 11.2 active ingredients spread across 12 active ingredients that we will get into in a second. So we're dealing with approximately 70% actives and then 30% non-active. So your flavors, your sweeteners, your stabilizers, your colors, and those other bits and pieces, which is not bad for a pre-workout. You know, 20 to 30% is completely fine. But if they're using 30%, the flavors better be damn good. We'll find out about that a little bit later. Let's take a deep dive into these ingredients, guys. As always, link is in the description box to our Supplement Simplified articles. If you hear an ingredient that I mentioned that you want to go take your own deep dive into, you can go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do, as we do with all of our complete stimulant-based pre-workouts, is go through the 5 effects that we're looking for in a complete stimulant-based pre-workout. Those 5 effects are muscle pumps and improved blood flow, muscle power, muscular endurance, nootropic effect, which involves mental focus and improved mood, and of course, energy. Let's go through them one by one and see how this formula stacks up on paper. Effect number 1, muscle pumps and improved blood flow. Woo! It's a good place to start with a Full Mag, let me tell you guys, because we have a massive dose of L-citrulline. It's going to boost nitric oxide through the arginine pathway. We then have arginine nitrate, which is going to boost nitric oxide through the arginine pathway and the nitrate pathway, so we get the double whammy, and that's a very nice dose in there as well. And then to top it off, we have a very nice dose of agmatine sulfate, which as the nitric oxide is coming up and improving blood flow, nutrient delivery, and of course muscle pumps, the agmatine sulfate is going to make sure that sticks around. It inhibits the enzyme that breaks down excess nitric oxide. So we have some beautiful synergism here when it comes to the muscle pump, improving blood flow, improving nutrient delivery to working muscles through boosting nitric oxide. Very, very well put together, good doses, and it's a really nice pump formula as a standalone pump formula. Even better to have it as part of a complete stimulant pre-workout. So we get a massive tick there. Effect number 2, muscle power. If you guys thought the muscle pumps were impressive, this is very good. All right, solid dose of creatine hydrochloride, which is my personal favorite type of creatine. You guys know that I get down with creatine hydrochloride. I don't mess around with monohydrate because I don't like the effects it has on my stomach primarily, and the fact that you have to take so much of the shit. So creatine hydrochloride is my personal type of creatine. We've got a nice dose in here. We then have a decent dose of betaine anhydrous in here as well, which acts as a precursor to creatine to boost adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is going to help with strength and power. On top of that, we then have a very nice dose of our apple extract, which is not the registered trademarked version Elevate-ATP, but is a very similar extract to Elevate-ATP. It's a direct precursor to adenosine triphosphate. That's why it's generally called Elevate-ATP in the registered trademark form. Once again, really nice synergism here when it comes to boosting adenosine triphosphate, which is going to help improve muscle power, improve muscle strength, and some really nice synergism with the creatine, the betaine, and the apple extract in there as well. So we once again get a massive tick here for pumps and power. Muscular endurance, effect number 3. This is the biggest hole in this formula. There's really no way to kind of sugarcoat this. There's no beta-alanine, there's no taurine, there's no PCO2, there's no creatine or O-phosphate to go back a few years when companies were using that as a muscular endurance ingredient. There's just nothing in here for muscular endurance. So we can't even give half a tick there. We get no points for muscular endurance. Let's move on to mental focus and elevation in mood. We've got a few ingredients working in conjunction here, guys. We have a huge dose of acetyl L-carnitine, which is going to help with mental focus because the acetyl chain crosses the blood-brain barrier and boosts acetylcholine in the brain, which helps with mental focus. The carnitine there is interesting as well because it's the acetyl chain bonded to L-carnitine. We actually get some fat metabolism benefits from L-carnitine, which is not generally something that we look for in a complete stimulant-based pre-workout, but we'll take it as a bonus anyway. So the acetyl L-carnitine's in there, the acetyl chain boosting mental focus. L-tyrosine is in there in a very nice dose as well, which is a precursor to L-dopa, which is a precursor to dopamine. That's going to boost mood and feeling of well-being. We then have alpha GPC in there, another form of choline in here, which is going to be a precursor to acetylcholine. Once again, help with mental focus in a nice dose as well. And then finally, we have some huperzine A, which is going to stop the breakdown of the excess acetylcholine coming from the acetyl chain of the L-carnitine and from the alpha GPC so that the elevation in mental focus sticks around for a very long time. So far as mental focus and elevation in mood goes, once again, we get a tick here. So we're at 3 out of 4. Let's see how it stacks up with energy. One main ingredient in here for energy, which I'm actually quite a big fan of because it's natural caffeine. There's no synthetic caffeine in here. There's no lab-made caffeine. There's no lab-made other stimulants and all the sort of shit that can cause you to have a pretty nasty post-workout crash type experience. It's just natural caffeine, which, as you guys know, because we've spoken about it before, is kind of let's call it the smoothest stimulant, really. It's the smoothest version of caffeine for sure, but really the smoothest stimulant because it acts like caffeine from coffee, effectively. So you get a really nice elevation in energy and it doesn't drop you on your ass post-workout, which is the dreaded post-workout crash. 325 milligrams, which for me personally is a little on the high side for caffeine, but I do make exceptions when it's natural caffeine just because it comes on so much slower and hangs around for so much longer. So we're gonna get a tick there as well for energy when it comes to that effect. So we're at 4 out of 5 when it comes to the 5 effects that we look for in a complete stimulant-based pre-workout, which is a pretty good scorecard. We then also have another ingredient in here that I haven't mentioned, and that is estrogen, which is the registered trademarked version of estrogen, which helps absorption, actually helps with gut health, but helps absorption of all of these active ingredients. So you're getting elevated bioavailability, effectively getting these ingredients from your stomach actually into the bloodstream where they can do all of the things that we've spoken about. So that's a very nice addition and a decent dose of estrogen as well. What is it missing? Where are the gaps? Obviously, there's a gap when it comes to muscular endurance. So if we wanted to pick this formula apart, we'd obviously add something like a beta-alanine or a PCO2 or some taurine or something, electrolytes even, something to help with muscular endurance because that is the biggest gap in this formula. That being said, it is of course beta-alanine free, and beta-alanine comes with the side effects of those tingles. Some people love them, other people don't like them. We have a lot of customers that will specifically request pre-workouts without beta-alanine in them because they don't like the tingle effect. Full mag is beta-alanine free. The other addition that we could make to the formula would be some form of glycerol. just for hyperhydration of muscle cells, which is going to help with endurance. It's going to help with power. It's going to help with muscle volume, which kind of plays into pumps a little bit as well. There's none of that in here. Glycerol, of course, is notorious for causing your pre-workout to clump, which is why a lot of companies are really moving away from using glycerol in their pre-workouts. They might put it in a pump formula and then say, you know, no clump, no pump, something like that, because it's the truth. But there is no glycerol in this formula either. Apart from that, it's a very, very solid formula, and I'll talk about the actual real-world effects when we dive into that. But before we get there, we do have to discuss some flavors, some taste. Infamous Massive Joe's taste and mixability test about to go down, guys. I will tell you that the full mag at this point in time comes in 2 flavors. We've got a sour lemon flavor in front of me right here, which is a flavor that I don't get down with at all. But this is my personal tub down here. This flavor, the Red Lollies, is what we are about to do our infamous taste and mixability test on. I will tell you guys, because I did weigh the scoop just before I jumped in here to shoot this raw review, a level scoop is a little under. And when I say a little under, a scoop's supposed to weigh 8 grams and a level scoop weighs like 7.6. So it's very, very close. But with that in mind, you want to kind of go just... No, it's not even a rounded scoop. It's like you want to have a little bit kind of sticking out the top of the scoop to get the full 8 grams. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this one scoop with a little round on top in the Red Lollies. And I've got 300 milliliters of water in my MJ shaker here. So the directions on the tub, mix 1 scoop to 2 scoops in 300 to 600 mils of water. So effectively a scoop per 300 mils. So I'm not going to go train after this, which is why I'm not doing the full 2 scoop, but for the purposes of flavors, taste, and mixability, we'll just half the serving and we'll half the water. So 1 scoop is 300 mils. Let's give it a quick flick of the wrist, shake it up in my MJ shaker. And let me show you guys how it mixes and then refresh my memory on how the Red Lollies tastes, man. All right, we've got some bubbles on top, a little bit of effervescence in there. I don't know how that happened. Maybe that's a little bonus in here. So as you guys can see, mixes pretty much perfectly. There's no floaters, there's no sinkers. There is absolutely nothing going on in there. So much so that I actually, just because I wanted to see, I do this kind of shit from time to time. I mixed it in a glass with a spoon just to see what would happen. When I did that, there were some sinkers down the bottom. I'm not sure which ingredient. It might have been the creatine maybe, but there was some sinkers down the bottom. So with that in mind, I would go so far as to say turbo ball is required for this Virtus full mag. Let me refresh my memory on how the Red Lollies tastes. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, Virtus have done a great job. A really good job I have actually tried the sour lemon as well, just because I was interested. It's very sour and it's very lemon, which is why I don't get down with it, because I don't fuck around with citrus. But the Red Lollies flavor does also have a touch of sourness to it, which makes me think that the kind of natural flavors of the ingredient profile in here is sour. So the sour lemon, very sour, very citrus for those of you who like really sour citrus flavors. That's going to be right up your alley. For people like me who don't, the Red Lollies flavor is very, very good. And just a really nice pre-workout to drink. I train first thing in the morning at like 5 a.m. And for a lot of pre-workouts that are like super strong, super sweet, it's like, ugh, that early in the morning, you just don't enjoy drinking it. The full mag is really quite pleasant, no matter what time of day. So very well done, Virtus, on the flavors. In terms of the effects, because that's what you guys are taking your pre-workouts for, let me say, first and foremost, that the pumps and the power are unreal. Unreal. I would go so far as to say that man, I can probably count like maybe one other pre-workout that immediately comes to mind that hits the combination of world-class muscle pumps and world-class muscle power in the same product. And make no mistake about it, they are both world-class. A lot of pre-workouts will do one or the other quite well. They'll have really good pumps, no power, or they'll do really good in the muscle power and strength, really shit pumps. Virtus has done a great job of getting the balance of two really, really well. And you just, you need to try it to understand what I'm talking about, because when you have really good muscle pumps and you feel strong as fuck, it's just a really good feeling in the gym. And that's why I really enjoy training on Full Mag. When it comes to endurance, nothing. There's nothing. There's really, I mean, you get a little bit of endurance from the caffeine, I guess, that kind of makes you feel like you can just keep training. But from a pure muscular endurance perspective, there's nothing going on. And that's not surprising, because there's nothing in here that would elicit that effect. Mood, mental focus, and energy is the other area that this pre-workout really kind of sets itself apart. It is a very well-balanced experience when it comes to mental focus that is there, but it's not too consuming that you like feel like way too dialed in. You start to feel a little bit anxious. It's very well balanced with an elevation in mood and just a really nice feeling of well-being. And then both of those effects are very well balanced with the energy effect, where the energy comes on nice and smooth. It doesn't come on too fast, where it makes you feel like, oh shit, I need to go and jump off the wall and fucking do all this Spider-Man type shit. It's a very well balanced nootropic and energy effect. You feel focused, but not crazy focused. You feel a nice elevation in mood. You feel a nice elevation in energy, and the effects stick around for the entire workout and then some after that, which is cool, because it really kind of helps prevent any sort of post-workout crash. Very, very well balanced. And I think just generally, when you combine, and this is what I found as well, I've trained on 1 scoop of the Full Mag, I've trained on 2 scoops of the Full Mag, I've trained on 1 scoop of Full Mag stacked with a stim free, I've trained on 2 scoops of Full Mag stacked with a stim free. I've been training on this pre-workout for the better part of 3 weeks now, and I've really kind of been experimenting and all my workouts as well. Chest, arms, legs, back, shoulder, just taking it through everything to really kind of figure out what this pre-workout is best for. And I think it's really good for your shorter, powerful, intense workouts. So let's say workouts that go for up to 75 minutes, workouts where you want to feel strong, you want to feel powerful, you want to get a muscle pump. So your chest workouts, your shoulder workouts, your arms workouts, your back workouts in particular, really, really good for those workouts. I think where it kind of falls down is with your super long endurance type workout. So for me, training legs on Full Mag is not the best experience, because my leg workouts go for the better part of 2 hours, and I really need the muscular endurance effect, and I really don't care for the pump effect when I'm training legs. For example, I don't want excessive pump in my legs because it restricts my range of motion and just messes with me. So I think for those shorter, powerful, more intense workouts, that is really where this Full Mag stands alone. But the pumps, the power, just the feeling, it's just a really, really beautiful pre-workout to train on. And I don't think I've ever called a pre-workout beautiful before. So that was the adjective that just jumped to mind. Side effects. Beware of the total caffeine. It is a lot of caffeine. It is natural caffeine, so it's going to hit you a little differently to synthetic caffeine. Obviously, it doesn't come on as hard, but it is still 325 milligrams. I think the other thing to be wary of is there is agmatine sulfate in here. And agmatine is notorious for, in higher doses in particular, causing gastrointestinal distress. So my advice in that regard is try and not take it on an empty stomach. If you can get something in your stomach beforehand, just in case. For 500 milligrams of agmatine, most people it's not going to cause anything, but just to have something in your stomach, I think is a good idea. It's probably best, let's say it's best not to take it on an empty stomach. if you really have to, it's probably not going to be that big a deal. In terms of stackability, it's going to stack best with stim-free pre-workouts. I mentioned that I have used it in the 1 scoop and the 2 scoop dose with a bunch of different stim-free pre's. The stim-free pre's that it stacks best with are the ones that focus on endurance through either direct endurance or through hydration, because that really fills in the gap, really the only gap in full mag. Don't stack it with other stimulant-based pre-workouts, obviously, because it has a massive dose of caffeine in there anyway. What does it compare to? Let me tell you guys, this was really difficult to figure out what pre-workouts I wanted to compare the full mag to. And I settled on really 2 of the most popular pre-workouts, because I really wanted to put this head to head, being a new company and a new product, put it head to head with some of the most popular pre-workouts that have been around for quite some time. So on one hand, we're going to see how it stacks up against Faction Labs Disorder. On the other hand, it's interesting because the company Virtus is military inspired. Redcon 1, military inspired. So of course we've got to put it head to head with Total War. So let's see how it stacks up against Disorder. When it comes to pumps, my personal opinion, the pumps in full mag are much better than the pumps in Disorder. When it comes to power, the power in full mag is much better than the power in Disorder. Disorder actually does nothing for power at all. It's the biggest, where full mag has the gap for endurance, Disorder has the gap for muscle power. When it comes to endurance, of course, Disorder beats out full mag when it comes to muscular endurance. Mental focus and feeling of well-being is always a personal thing. For me personally, I think it's much more balanced and much more enjoyable in full mag than it is Disorder. When it comes to energy, the energy in Disorder is much more intense. It hits a lot harder, but it's not as balanced as the energy in full mag. And once again, that's a personal preference. Some people like pre-workouts that just blow your head off, right? And just make you feel like you just want to bounce off the walls. For me, I like a much more balanced experience. So for me personally, I think the energy effect in full mag is better as well. When it comes to flavors, Disorder at the moment has 12 flavors. Full mag only has 2, so a lot more flavors to choose from in Disorder. I think when you compare flavor to flavor, the red lollies is very similar to the raspberry in Faction Labs Disorder. So I think like flavor for flavor, and Disorder doesn't do a pure citrus flavor like a sour lemon, so it's hard to compare those. Flavor to flavor, very similar. You just have a lot more that you can choose from in Disorder. In terms of pricing, Disorder is $10 less per tub for 10 more scoops. So it is slightly better value for money, both in the price per tub and the price per scoop as well. Let's jump over to Total War. It's the military pre-workout battle we've all been waiting for. This would make a good sub wars, actually. We'll have to bank that one. Okay, pumps in Total War are not as good as full mag. Full mag, better muscle pumps in my personal opinion. Power, once again, full mag wins that. And to be honest, guys, when it comes to muscle power, full mag is one of the best, full stop, on the market, which is why it's beating all of these other pre-workouts when you put them head to head when it comes to muscle power. So full mag better for muscle power. Endurance, Total War is better for endurance than full mag. No surprises, it's the gap in this formula. Mental focus and feeling of well-being is similar in both, and it's really going to come down to personal preference. I personally think, once again, it's more balanced in full mag. I think Total War probably leans a little more towards the mental focus side of things, but for some people, that's what you want. You want to have that feeling of being dialed in. And with that regard, Total War is better. When it comes to the full experience, I feel like full mag is better. Energy across both of them is very, very similar. Total War uses synthetic versions of caffeine, but they are very balanced to kind of mimic natural caffeine, whereas full mag uses just natural caffeine, but very, very similar when it comes to energy. Many more flavors to choose from in Total War, although some of them, especially some of the most recent ones, are questionable as to do that, like, what flavor is this? But there is 20 to choose from versus the 2 in the full mag. I think, you know, Total War do some very good flavors, and I think if you take their good flavors and you compare them against full mag, very, very comparable. Total War is $10 less per tub for 10 more full serves, not scoops, because it is 1 scoop per serve, whereas this is 2 scoops per serve. So Total War is much better value for money in terms of the price per serve than the full mag. Who is it best for? This full mag, this new pre-workout, this new Australian military-inspired pre-workout. Guys, I think really anyone who's interested in a really good pre-workout. If you're a beginner, you can start with 1 scoop. If you're an advanced pre-workout user, you can go straight to the 2 scoops. I think anyone who really values muscle pump, muscle power, feeling of well-being, elevation in mood, nice, well-balanced feeling of just good in the gym. I think really that's where full mag kind of stands alone. What it does very well. It does pumps very well. It does power very well. It does that overall nootropic, energetic experience very, very well. And I think if those effects are important to you, you're really going to enjoy training on the Virtus Full Mag. Last but not least, price and value for money. We are looking at $79.95 per tub for the 40 scoops, which is the 20 full serves. So $2 per scoop, $4 per serve. I think no matter how you look at it, guys, it's very good value for money. Even with the 4 out of 5 effects that we look for in pre-workout with the gap in muscular endurance, the next step up where you're looking at pre-workouts that hit all 5, you're looking at another 25% price per serve on top of that. So you do the quick maths, right? You're losing one of these effects, but you're saving 25%. It's really, really good value for money. And for a pre-workout that just nails pumps, nails power, nails that overall nootropic, energetic experience, for $2 a scoop, $4 a serve, you really cannot go wrong with the Virtus Nutrition Full Mag. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MJ Fitness YouTube channel, guys. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, your smart TV, and whatever other device you are watching this raw review on so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the MJ Fitness YouTube channel, all these raw reviews and everything else that we've got going on. Guys, that is Massive Joe's raw review on the all-new Virtus Full Mag complete stimulant-based pre-workout in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.